The mid-November dawn cloaked the Redstone Plains in a ghostly veil of frost and pale gold, the 200-acre Texas ranch stirring awake beneath a vast sky streaked with delicate pinks, molten oranges, and the faintest wisps of silver that bled into the horizon like spilled ink, the lake a shimmering expanse of liquid crystal reflecting the first light, its surface rippling gently with a biting breeze that swept through the brittle, frost-tipped grasses, carrying the sharp scent of frozen sage, damp earth, the musky tang of cattle, and a hint of wood smoke from a distant hearth, wildflowers huddling in sparse, defiant patches of yellow and purple along the water's edge, their petals encrusted with glittering ice. Trembling against the cold that nipped at their fragile stems, ancient oaks standing as eternal guardians, their gnarled branches swaying in a slow, mournful dance, casting jagged shadows across the frost-glazed ground, their bark etched with the scars of countless seasons. But at the northeast corner, where the plains sloped gently toward a shallow ravine fringed with red cedar, tangled briars, and clumps of frost-dusted yucca, John Parker, a rugged 54-year-old cowboy in a weathered Stetson, froze mid-stride, his boots crunching the frost with a brittle crack that echoed in the stillness, as a high-pitched hum pierced the silence like a blade, a quantum horizon sensor array, its sleek, black probes burrowing into the ravine's frozen soil with mechanical precision, their tips glinting as they pinpointed a crystalline, verdant node pulsing with a vivid amethyst light that shimmered through the haze like a living heartbeat, its glow casting eerie reflections on the icy ground. Victor Drake emerging from a low-flying black helicopter that touched down on the ravine's lip, its blades slicing the air with a relentless, rhythmic thump that shook the cedar branches. His tailored suit a stark contrast to the rugged, untamed terrain, his voice booming over the array's hum with a cold, calculated menace. This node seals your fate, Parker, Redstone's mine, and I'll tear it apart to prove it. John drawing his revolver with a swift, practiced motion, the cold steel steady in his calloused hand, firing a shot that sparked off a probe's casing with a sharp clang, the sound reverberating across the plains like a challenge, his growl cutting through the icy air. You're trespassing on my land. Drake, step off now, or I'll send you and your damn tech back to hell in pieces. Sarah Bennett racing from the ridge, her breath fogging in the freezing air, her boots slipping on the frosted gravel. Rifle cocked and raised, her shout piercing the chaos. They've locked onto the northeast node. It's alive. Frank Hensley charging down from the ravine's lip, his bulk heaving under his denim coat. Shotgun gripped tight, his voice a thunderous roar that drowned out the drone's whine. Quantum's hitting us where it hurts, full assault, the air crackling with defiance, desperation, and the raw edge of survival. A swarm of quantum drones buzzing low overhead, their sleek black shells glinting like obsidian, red lasers slashing through the frost with deadly precision, searing the ground into steaming scars, the lake's serene glow dimming beneath a gathering cloud of dust, frost, and unrelenting threat, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The past days had been a tense, hard-won equilibrium after the Northwest Node's defense, Redstone's gates fortified with heavy chains and steel. The sign, Redstone Endures, permission only standing as a steadfast marker of John's unyielding resolve, the co-op's railway humming with steady shipments of corn, wheat, sorghum, and late-season pecans, their steel tracks glinting coldly under a pale November sun. Clara May's silo gleaming with fresh timber and paint, its silhouette a symbol of renewal against the horizon. Steve and the Enclave patrolling Tractor Way with quiet vigilance, their lanterns swaying like fireflies along the gravel path, casting pools of warm light on the frost. Tessa and Ethan stringing tin cans on the perimeter fences as makeshift alarms, their small hands tugging at twine, their laughter echoing across the fields despite the chill. Dakota prowling the trails with ears pricked, his heeled legs strong, his low growls a warning to any shadow that lingered too long. Michelle baking cornbread in the kitchen, the warm golden scent drifting through the house, mingling with the crackle of a fire in the hearth. But the verdant network's relentless awakening gnawed at John's gut like a persistent wound. Lena Carter's attic discovery, a brittle ledger with faded ink, its pages curling, revealing a northeast node, faint but growing stronger with each passing day, confirmed by Dr. Ella Lenina Chin's detectors during a late-night scan under a starless sky, their insistent beeps spiking near the ravine. It's volatile, could link the northwest and south nodes into a nexus. Chin had warned, her glasses fogging as she adjusted the dials with trembling hands, her voice tight with urgency, Lena adding, "Quantum's desperate, they know it's a game changer. John." And they're not playing soft. John's eyes narrowing, his jaw tightening as he leaned against the barn's weathered wall. "They'll throw hell at us. More than drones, more than rigs," Sarah beside him. Her rifle slung over her shoulder, nodding grimly. "We've faced worse, but this feels different," that dawn. Riding out with Sarah to check the ravine after a sleepless night, plagued by dreams of shattering light and burning fields, the frost stinging his face, the cold biting at his knuckles through his gloves. He'd caught the array's high-pitched hum rising like a siren, a storm breaking the fragile peace he'd fought tooth and nail to reclaim. The wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The confrontation exploded into a furious, chaotic blaze, the drones descending in a coordinated swarm. Their sleek shells glinting like polished obsidian in the pale morning light, red lasers searing the ground with ruthless precision, frost melting into blackened, steaming scars that smoked in the cold, John dodging a beam that grazed his sleeve, the heat singeing the fabric, rolling behind a gnarled cedar stump with a grunt, his heart pounding. His revolver barking as he fired again, the shot cracking a drone's hull with a satisfying crunch, sending it spiraling into the ravine in a plume of dust and sparks that scattered across the frost. Sarah shouting over the deafening din, "Protect the node. It's all they're here for." Her rifle spitting fire, its report echoing off the ravine's walls, another drone tumbling from the sky, its wreckage crunching against the frozen briars, Frank's shotgun roaring like a thunderclap, a third drone exploding midair, shrapnel raining down like jagged hail, peppering the ground. Matt and Tom flanking from the ridge, their boots slipping on the icy incline, rifles blazing in a relentless cacophony of defiance. "Hold him off. Don't let him touch it." Victor remaining unfazed, barking orders from the rise with a cold, predatory sneer, his operatives fanning out in tactical precision, their black gear stark against the frost-dusted plains. A disruptor thudding into the dirt near the node with a heavy thud, its sleek casing humming with a high-pitched wail that fractured the amethyst light into jagged, flickering shards. Lena sprinting from the barn, her breath fogging in the freezing air, her boots slipping on loose gravel, the verdant tablet clutched tight against her chest, its symbols glowing with an eerie, pulsating intensity. "They'll detonate it, collapse the whole ley line." Her voice raw with panic, John aligning the regulation key, its etched runes flaring with a burst of amethyst light. A shockwave rippling outward through the frost, the disruptor shorting with a sharp crackle and a puff of acrid, black smoke. But Victor's laugh echoed, chilling and triumphant. "You're too late." Parker, the Northeast's mine, the array's probes sinking deeper into the frozen soil, their tips buzzing, the node's glow wavering like a candle in a storm. Hank's co-op truck roaring up the trail, gravel spraying as he leapt out, his voice raw with urgency. "Co-op's got your back. Quantum's all in on this one." Matt shouting over the chaos. "They've got more choppers, reinforcements." Tom firing at a drone. "We're pinned." The wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Midday brought a co-op council at Clara May's ranch. The weathered porch creaking under the weight of 30 farmers gathered in a restless, murmuring semicircle, the air thick with tension and the bitter tang of burnt coffee brewing on an old stove. The frost still clinging to their boots, Hank pacing like a caged animal, his sunburned hands flexing. The Northwest safe because of Parker, the Northeast ours to hold. Clara May standing firm, her steel-gray hair pulled tight in a bun, her voice steady as iron. "We've held this far, can't break now. Not with a node that's strong." Lila, emboldened by Quantum's whispers, her grudge from episode 83 festering, snarling from the shadows near the porch rail. "He's a death sentence. Quantum's offering $60,000 to walk away and save our skins." Roy leaning heavily on his cane, his eyes squinting under a frayed cap. "Take their money, and they'll gut us bare." Parker's right about their kind. Jed, a wiry man with a scarred cheek and a limp, adding with a growl, "My kids need this co-op to eat. Quantum will burn my fields next if we fold." Mary, a stout widow with a sharp tongue and calloused hands, shouting, "I've seen their drones circling my barn at night. They're scouting us all." A new voice, Cal, a grizzled farmer with a squint, grumbling, My water pump's dry. Quantum's tampering. John standing at the porch's edge, his Stetson shadowing his face, his voice steady as bedrock despite the weight on his shoulders. Unity's our strength. Quantum wants a split to pick us off. Sarah's stepping forward, unrolling a stack of hacked quantum logs on a rickety table, the pages fluttering in the breeze. Drake's orders: bribe the weak, burn the rest. Chin adjusting her glasses. Her voice tense. The Northeast node's a nexus. It could power the whole verdant web or destroy it. Lila storming toward the door, her braid whipping behind her. I'm done with this. I'm meeting their man tonight, and you'll all regret it. Hank slamming a fist on the table, the thud echoing like a gunshot. Traitor, you'll doom us all. Clara May's voice rising, sharp and commanding. Hold the vote. Let's dig deeper into her lies. Jed nodding. I'm with Parker. Seen too much to quit. Mary adding. My late husband did fight. Count me in. Cal squinting. I'm holding Quantum's no friend. The vote teetering on a knife's edge. Lila's boots kicking up frost as she fled into the cold. Her silhouette vanishing toward the ravine, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. That afternoon saw Lila's betrayal unfold under a graying sky heavy with the threat of sleet. John scouting the ravine with Frank and Sarah, the frost crunching beneath their boots, the wind biting at their faces through their scarves. When they spotted Lila and her brother Jess meeting a quantum agent, a slick man named Vance, his polished boots absurd against the rugged terrain, near a cluster of frost-dusted cedars. Vance's voice low and oily. Drake pays well. Deliver the co-op. You're set. Lila nodding, her eyes glinting with greed. Parker's finished. Jess shifting uneasily. This better hold. Sis. John stepping from the shadows, his revolver drawn, the cold steel steady, confronting her. Lila, you're selling your soul, your land, your kid's future. Lila spitting, her voice venomous. You're the fool, Parker. Quantum's the future, and you're just dirt. Vance smirking, walk away. Cowboy, John's gaze locking. You walk, or you don't. Eli Grayson emerging from a quantum truck. His duster flapping, his blade glinting, his voice low. John, back off. This ain't your fight. John stepping closer, his voice raw. Fight with us. Eli, you're better than Drake's dog. Eli hesitating, his hand twitching toward his blade, his eyes flickering with something. Pain, doubt, before he muttered, Drake owns me. Shoving past with a curse, vanishing into the truck. Its engine roaring to life, Sarah whispering from behind a briar patch. He's breaking. Drake's got him on a leash. Frank spitting into the frost. Lila's gone. Co-op splitting bad. John's jaw tightening. Not if we hold. Get to Hank. Jess glancing back, guilt flashing, before following Lila into the cold, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Night unleashed Quantum's most cunning counterstrike yet. A convoy breaching the northwest field under a moonless sky, 4 trucks rumbling, their headlights slicing the dark like knives. A dozen drones buzzing like angry hornets, operatives in black gear torching a grain silo with a flick of a lighter, flames roaring to life, a towering inferno of orange and red licking the night sky. Painting the frost with flickering light, John and the Ridge Riders racing over in the pickup, tires skidding on the frozen trail, Dakota barking furiously from the bed, his hackles raised. His teeth bared, Michelle arming Tessa and Ethan with red and green flares in the barn's loft, her voice steady despite the tremble, signal trouble, red for danger, green for clear, stay sharp. John leaping from the truck, seizing a hose from the well, water hissing against the blaze, steam rising in thick, choking clouds, Frank tackling an operative as he fled the fire. Pinning him to the frost, ripping off a mask, Eli again, his duster singed, his blade flashing in the firelight. Drake's relentless, he'll burn it all to ash. John rushing over. Pinning Eli's arm to the ground, his voice raw with urgency. You're not this, Eli. Fight for us, damn it. We were brothers. Eli's eyes flickering with something anguish, defiance, before he snarled. Can't. I'm his now, and you're done. Wrenching free with a desperate shove, vanishing into the dark as the flames roared, the northwest node glowing faintly beneath a cluster of oaks. Its light pulsing through the frozen soil, Chin shouting over the crackle of dying flames. It's linked to the northeast, stronger than I calculated. Matt firing at a drone, its wreckage crashing. They're hitting both ends. Tom shouting, more trucks, south, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The next dawn rallied the co-op's resolve. Hank gathering farmers at Clara May's porch, The frost glinting in the pale, watery light. Lila's gone for good. We're solid with you, Parker, his voice firm. Clara May assigning patrols with a sharp nod. No more breaches, Jed. Take the south, Mary, northwest, Roy limping forward, his cane tapping. I'm in, Quantum's the devil himself, Mary vowing. My fields are next. I fight for my boys, Cal squinting. Ain't folding, seen their tracks. John fortifying the northeast with Chin's jammers, their steady hum a lifeline. The array's probes stalled by frost and sabotage, shipments rolling out under a tense, gray sky, Steve and the Enclave guarding the trails with axes and rifles. Their silhouettes stark against the horizon. We've got this. Parker, ain't falling today. Old man Carter grumbling from his rocking chair. Tech vultures, gut, and hang him. Quantum's drones circling at a wary distance, their retreat a grudging pause, the northeast node glowing steady, its amethyst light pulsing stronger, the wildflowers trembling. Their roots deep in the Texas soil. A new tension surfaced midday, Michelle finding Tessa and Ethan in the loft. Their flares spent, their faces flushed. We signaled red, saw trucks creeping south. Ethan piping up, his voice proud. I threw rocks, they scattered. Tessa nodding, her braids swinging. I aimed for the tires. John chuckling despite the strain, his chest tight with pride. Your Ridge Riders now, tough as nails, Lena poring over the ledger in the kitchen, her fingers tracing faded lines. There's more, a southeast node, barely a whisper, but it's there. Chun rigging a fourth detector from spare parts, its lights blinking faintly. They're a web, northwest, northeast, south, maybe more. Quantum's blind to the full scope, Sarah leaning in. Drake's missing pieces, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Just brought a quieter reckoning, Jess slipping to the barn, his face pale. Lila's wrong, I'm out. John eyeing him, prove it, Jess nodding. Quantum's man, Vance, meets her tomorrow. Hank overhearing, we'll trap him. The co-op tightening, Mary baking biscuits for patrols, fuel for the fight. The wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. John gathered the family by the redstone oak as night fell. The northeast node of vivid amethyst glow on the horizon. Bourbon warming his hand, the frost crunching underfoot. Sarah beside him, Eli's slipping, Drake's leash is fraying, Lena adding, southeast next, Ledger's a map we're only starting, Frank joining. Northwest locked, next fight's ours, Michelle with Tessa and Ethan, they're tougher than me, John nodding, his voice steady, redstone holds, always will, the stars piercing the cold sky. The plains whispering defiance, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil.